The Forbidden Order commander Elena Voss stood at the bridge of the research vessel Horizon's Edge, watching the alien ship approach through the viewport. The massive vessel belonged to the Altani Empire, a powerful species known for their strict isolation policies. For 3 centuries, they had maintained minimal contact with other races, especially humans. The communication panel crackled to life. A melodic voice, clearly female, spoke in perfect English. "Human vessel, this is Captain Kira of the Altani ship Silver Dawn. You are ordered to maintain a distance of no less than 10 kilometers. Any attempt to approach will be considered an act of aggression." Elena frowned. The Altani had requested this meeting, claiming they needed human assistance with a dangerous phenomenon threatening their home system. Now they were acting like humans carried some kind of plague. "Captain Kira, this is Commander Voss. We received your distress signal. Our scientists are prepared to help, but we need to examine the data closely. Perhaps we could arrange a secure meeting." There was a long pause. When Kira's voice returned, it carried a strange tension. "That is impossible. Human contact is forbidden by our High Council. We will transmit the data. You will analyze it from your ship." Elena studied the alien vessel through her scope. Its design was elegant, almost artistic, with flowing curves that seemed to dance in the starlight. She had studied the Altani for years, fascinated by their culture and their mysterious reasons for avoiding other species. "Captain, with respect, some problems require direct collaboration. Our races have never worked together before. This could be a historic opportunity." "Commander Voss," Kira's voice was sharper now, "you do not understand. The prohibition is absolute. No human has ever set foot on an Altani vessel. None ever will." But Elena heard something else in that voice. Not just authority, but longing. As if the captain was fighting against her own words. The data transmission began. Elena watched the streams of information flow across her screens, showing readings of a massive energy storm approaching the Altani system. It was unlike anything she had seen, a swirling vortex of dark matter that consumed everything in its path. "This is incredible," Dr. Marcus Webb, her chief scientist, whispered. "The energy patterns are completely unknown. We need their ship's sensor logs, their historical data. Without context, we're flying blind." Elena opened the channel again. "Captain Kira, we need more information. This storm is beyond our current understanding. Your people must have encountered something like this before." Another pause. Then, surprisingly, Kira's voice came back softer. Perhaps you could dock with our cargo bay. No direct contact, but you could access our databases from there." Elena raised an eyebrow. This was already a major compromise from someone who had just declared human contact impossible. "We accept your proposal, Captain." As the Horizon's Edge approached the docking bay, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this prohibition than politics. The way Kira spoke, the careful distance she maintained, it felt personal. The docking process was smooth, but strange. The Altani had erected some kind of energy barrier between the ships, allowing data transfer, but preventing physical contact. Elena could see through the transparent barrier into the alien ship's corridor. That's when she saw her captain. Kira was tall and graceful, with pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the light. Her hair was long and silver, and her eyes, even from a distance, held an intelligence that took Elena's breath away. She was beautiful in a way that transcended species, but what struck Elena most was the expression on Kira's face. She was staring back with the same intensity, her hand pressed against the barrier from her side. "The data access is ready," Kira said through the comm, but her voice was different now, quieter, more vulnerable. Elena stepped closer to the barrier. "Captain, may I ask why your people forbid contact with humans specifically?" Your records show you interact with other species. Kira's expression grew pained. Because ... She hesitated, then seemed to steel herself. Because humans are dangerous to us in ways your people cannot understand. Physical contact with humans triggers certain responses in our physiology. Responses that our society has deemed too dangerous to risk. Elena pressed her own hand against the barrier, directly opposite Kira's. What kind of responses? Kira's breathing quickened. Even through the barrier, Elena could see her struggle. The kind that make us forget our duties. The kind that make us want to abandon everything we've been taught. The kind that make us. She paused, meeting Elena's eyes. The kind that make. You want to hold on and never let go. The barrier hummed between them, the only thing keeping them apart. Elena realized that this mission was about to become much more complicated than anyone had planned. The dangerous truth Elena spent the next several hours analyzing the Alternate data while stealing glances at Kira through the barrier. The alien captain had remained at her post, ostensibly supervising the data transfer. But Elena noticed how often their eyes met across the divide. The energy storm data was troubling. The phenomenon was accelerating, and it would reach the Alteni homeworld in less than 2 weeks. But what worried Elena more was the incomplete information. Crucial sensor readings were missing, and the historical records seemed deliberately edited. Captain Kira, Elena said through the com, there are gaps in this data. We need the complete sensor logs from your deep space monitors. Kira's image appeared on the screen, and Elena noticed she looked tired. Those records are classified. I cannot provide them without council approval. Then get approval. This storm will destroy your entire system. You don't understand our government, Commander. The council meets only once per cycle. That's 3 weeks away. Elena felt frustration building. Your people will die waiting for bureaucracy. Perhaps, Kyra said quietly, but that is preferable to the alternative. Which is? Kira hesitated and moved closer to the barrier. Commander, may I speak freely? Of course. The prohibition against human contact exists because of our bonding response. When Alteni touch humans, we form an immediate and irreversible psychological connection. What you might call ... imprinting. It's not romantic love as you understand it. It's deeper, more complete. We become unable to function without that person's presence. Elena felt her heart rate increase. That sounds like it could be beautiful. It is destruction, Kira said firmly. An Alteni who bonds with a human becomes useless to society. They can think of nothing else. They abandon their duties, their families, their entire lives. The few times it happened in our history, it nearly destroyed our civilization. So, you ban all contact to prevent bonding? Not just contact. Physical proximity creates a pre-bonding state. The closer we are, the stronger the compulsion becomes. That's why the barrier exists. Even now, I can feel. Feel what? Kira's voice dropped to a whisper. The pull, the desire to touch you, to know what it would feel like. It grows stronger every moment. Elena pressed both hands against the barrier. Kira, what if bonding isn't a weakness? What if it's a strength your people have been afraid to explore? You don't understand. A bonded Alteni becomes completely devoted to their human partner. They lose their individual identity. They become ... addicted. Or maybe they become complete, Elena suggested. Maybe they become what they were meant to be. Kira stepped back from the barrier, breathing heavily. I cannot listen to this. The data transfer is complete. You must leave now. Wait, Elena said urgently. The storm data is still incomplete. We need those deep space readings. I cannot provide them. Then, your people will die. Perhaps that is better than the alternative. Elena stared at her in shock. You would rather let your entire civilization die than risk one person bonding with a human? You don't understand what bonding means. The bonded Altany doesn't just love their human partner. They become incapable of existing without them. If the human dies, the Altany dies too. If the human leaves, the Altany goes insane. It's not love. It's complete dependency. Has anyone ever tried to understand it, to study it, to see if there's a way to make it work? Kira laughed bitterly. Study it? Commander, I'm studying it, right now. Every moment I spend near you, I feel the pull growing stronger. The desire to lower this barrier, to touch you, to double quotes. She stopped herself. To what? To bond with you completely. To make you mine and become yours. To forget everything else exists. Her voice was raw with emotion. Do you see why it's forbidden? Elena felt a strange warmth spreading through her chest. Kira, what if I told you I was feeling something similar? What if this isn't just affecting you? Kira's eyes widened. That's impossible. Humans don't have the bonding response. Maybe not the same way, but I haven't been able to think about anything but you since we met. The way you move, the way you speak, the way you look at me like you're fighting a war inside yourself. Elena, Kira whispered, using her first name for the first time. You must leave, now, before I do something that will doom us both. What if dooming ourselves is the only way to save everyone else? The alarm suddenly blared through both ships. Elena's communication officer called out, Commander, we're detecting massive energy spikes from the storm. It's accelerating faster than predicted. Kira checked her instruments, her face pale. It will reach our outer colonies in 5 days, not 2 weeks. Elena made a decision that would change everything. Lower the barrier, Kira. Let me help you properly. I cannot. Then billions will die. Kira's hand hovered over the barrier controls, trembling. Elena, if I do this, there may be no going back. Then we'll face whatever comes together. The barrier falls, the silence stretched between them, as Kira's hand remained frozen over the barrier controls. Elena could see the internal struggle playing out across the alien woman's face. Duty warring with desire, training fighting against instinct. The outer colonies have 12 million inhabitants, Kira said quietly. They cannot be evacuated in time. Then you know what you have to do. Kira's fingers moved to the control panel. Elena, I need you to understand something. Once this barrier falls, I may not be able to control myself. The bonding response is powerful, and I've already been fighting it for hours. I understand. No, you don't, Kira said, her voice intense. When I touch you, I will know everything about you. Your memories, your emotions, your thoughts, and you will know mine. We will be connected in ways that your language has no words. For Elena felt a shiver of fear mixed with anticipation. Will it hurt? No, Kira said softly. It will be the most beautiful and terrifying thing either of us has ever experienced. And afterwards, we will never be the same. The barrier hummed between them, its energy field the only thing keeping them apart. Elena could feel the heat radiating from Kira's body, even through the shield. The storm will reach your homeworld in 7 days, Elena said. We need those deep space sensor readings to understand its structure. Without them, we can't help. The readings are in the secure vault. I would need to access them personally, and I cannot do that while fighting the bonding response. Then stop fighting it. Kira laughed, but there was no humor in it. You make it sound simple. Maybe it is, Elena said. Maybe your people have been making it complicated for centuries. Elena, you don't understand what you're asking. If we bond, you'll be tied to me forever. You'll never be able to leave this ship, this system. You'll be compelled to stay near me always. And you'll be compelled to stay near me. Yes, Elena smiled. That doesn't sound like a punishment. It is if you value your independence, your career, your life as you know it. My life as I know it involves watching civilizations die because I couldn't do what was necessary to save them, Elena said firmly. I became a Starfleet commander to help people, not to preserve my independence. Kira's hand moved closer to the controls. There's something else you need to know. The bonding works both ways, but differently. You won't lose your individual identity like I will. You'll remain essentially human, but with an enhanced emotional connection to me. I, however, will become something new, something that exists primarily to be with you. That's not fair to you. It's our nature. We're designed to be completion for another being. We've just been afraid to embrace it. Elena pressed her face closer to the barrier. Kira, look at me. Their eyes met, and Elena saw the longing there, the desperate need that Kira had been fighting. I'm not asking you to sacrifice yourself, Elena said. I'm asking you to trust me, to trust us, to believe that maybe your people's fear has prevented them from discovering something beautiful. And if you're wrong, if the bonding destroys us both, then at least we'll face the storm together. Kira's breathing was shallow now. Elena, I need to tell you something. I've been monitoring human communications for years. I've studied your species, your culture, your history. I chose to respond to your distress signal because I knew you would be here. You knew me, I knew of you. Commander Elena Voss, decorated. Officer, brilliant strategist, compassionate leader. I've been fascinated by you for a long time. Elena felt her heart skip. You sought me out? I told myself it was scientific curiosity, but now I know it was something more. The bonding response doesn't just happen randomly. It happens when we encounter someone who completes us. Are you saying we're meant to be together? I'm saying that everything I've been taught tells me to run from you, but everything I feel tells me to run to you. Elena made her decision. Then follow your feelings. Kira's hand moved to the controls. Once I do this, there's no going back. I know. You'll be bound to an alien woman whose people will consider her a traitor. I'll be bound to someone willing to risk everything to save lives. Elena ... Lower the barrier, Kira. Let's save your people. Let's save each other. Kira's finger pressed the control. The barrier flickered once, twice, then disappeared entirely. For a moment, they stood frozen, staring at each other across the empty space. Then Elena stepped forward, her hand outstretched. Hello, Kira. Hello, Elena. Their fingers touched, and the universe exploded into light and sensation and perfect, overwhelming connection. The bond awakens the moment their skin made contact. Elena felt as if electricity had shot through her entire nervous system. But it wasn't painful. It was the most intense pleasure she had ever experienced. Every nerve ending came alive, every sense heightened to impossible levels. Kira gasped, her silver eyes going wide as her pupils dilated. Elena, I can feel ... everything. Elena was experiencing the same thing. Suddenly, she could sense Kira's emotions as if they were her own. The fear, the longing, the desperate need that had been building for hours. But underneath it all was something else. A deep, ancient recognition, as if they had been searching for each other across the stars. This is the bonding, Kira whispered, her voice thick with wonder. But it's not what I expected. Elena found herself moving closer, drawn by an irresistible pull. What did you expect? Loss of self, mindless devotion. But I can still think. Clearly, I'm still me, just ... more complete. Their hands intertwined naturally, and Elena felt a wave of warmth and safety wash over her. I can feel your thoughts, she said in amazement. Not hear them, but feel them. The texture of your mind is so different from human thoughts. You're still human, Kira said, studying Elena's face intently. A bonding should have changed you more. Maybe it did, Elena said. I feel like I've been waiting my whole life for this moment. Like everything before was just preparation. Kira's free hand came up to cup Elena's face. The touch sent shivers through both women. Elena, I need to access the sensor data now, while I can still focus on anything other than you. Then let's go together. They moved through the Altany ship's corridors, their hands still joined. Elena marveled at the organic architecture, the way the walls seemed to flow like water frozen in time. But what captivated her more was the way Kira moved with perfect grace, as if she were dancing through her own ship. Asterisk, your people will consider you a traitor, Elena said as they walked. Let them, Kira replied without hesitation. I've spent my entire life following rules that kept me empty. Now I'm Galit. They reached the secure vault, and Kira placed her palm on the scanner. The door opened to reveal a chamber filled with crystalline data storage units. The deep space monitors had been tracking this storm for months, Kira explained, pulling out a specific crystal. But the data was classified because it shows something disturbing. Elena touched the crystal, and through their bond, she instantly understood its contents. This isn't a natural phenomenon. No, it's artificial. Someone or something is controlling it. That's why you needed human help, Elena realized. People know about the controller, but they can't stop it alone. The entity controlling the storm is powerful beyond our understanding. It feeds on energy, consuming entire star systems. But the data suggests it might be vulnerable to a specific type of quantum disruption. Elena felt excitement building. Human quantum technology. Our ships can generate disruption fields that your people can't. Yes, but the power requirements are enormous. It would take multiple human vessels, working in perfect coordination with our deep space platforms. That's what I do, Elena said with growing confidence. I coordinate fleet actions, but I'll need to contact my superiors, get authorization for a joint operation. Kira's expression grew troubled. Elena, there's something else. The storm isn't just destroying systems randomly. It's moving in a specific pattern, heading toward Earth. Elena felt a chill. How long do we have? If it continues at current speed, it will reach human space in 3 months. Then this isn't just about saving your people anymore. No, it's about saving both our civilizations. They moved quickly back to the communications center, their bond making coordination effortless. Elena could anticipate Kira's needs, while Kira seemed to understand Elena's tactical thinking instinctively. Asterisk, I need to contact Starfleet Command, Elena said. But they'll want to know why an Altany captain is suddenly willing to work with humans. Kira squeezed her hand. Tell them the truth. That we've discovered something worth more than our fears. As Elena prepared to make the call that would change everything, she felt a strange tingling in her mind. Through their bond, she could sense Kira's thoughts more clearly now. Kira, are you hearing something? Yes, Kira said, her voice tight, with concern. It's the entity, the storm controller. It's trying to communicate. Elena felt it too, a vast alien intelligence pressing against their joined consciousness. Its voice was like the whisper of dying stars. It knows about the bond, Kira whispered. It's afraid of what we might become together. Then we're on the right path, Elena said grimly. Contact your people. Tell them the situation has changed. We're not just fighting a storm anymore. What are we fighting? Elena looked at the data streaming across the screens, showing the storm's inexorable advance toward both their worlds. Something that wants to keep us apart. Something that fears what happens when different species truly unite. The entities. Presence grew stronger, pressing against their minds with increasing urgency. But the bond between Elena and Kira held firm, creating a barrier of light against the darkness. United we stand, the entity's mental pressure intensified, like the weight of a dying star pressing against their consciousness. Elena and Kira held hands tighter, their bond creating a protective barrier against the alien intelligence. "It's trying to break our connection," Kira gasped, her silver eyes blazing with inner light. "It feeds on isolation, on fear between species." Elena felt the malevolent presence clawing at her mind, trying to fill her with doubts about the bond, about Kira, about their chances of success. But every time the darkness crept in, she felt Kira's strength flowing into her, pushing it back. "That's why it's afraid of us," Elena realized. "We're doing exactly what it doesn't want, uniting instead of staying apart." The communication panel crackled to life. Elena's superior, Admiral Torres, appeared on screen, her expression grim. "Commander Voss, we're detecting massive energy disturbances in your sector. What's your status?" "Admiral, we've discovered the source of the threat. It's an artificial entity controlling the storm, and it's heading for Earth. We need immediate fleet support for a joint operation with the Altini." "Joint operation?" Torres looked skeptical. "Elena, the Altini have refused contact for centuries." "What's changed?" Elena exchanged a look with Kira. "We've learned that our species are stronger together than apart. Captain Kira and I have formed a working partnership that's revealed new possibilities." Torres' eyes narrowed. "What kind of partnership?" Before Elena could answer, Kira stepped forward. "Admiral Torres, I am Captain Kira of the Altini Empire. Commander Voss and I have formed a bond that allows us to share knowledge and coordinate our efforts in ways neither species could achieve alone." "A bond?" Torres looked confused. "What are you talking about?" Elena felt the entity's presence surge, trying to turn the Admiral against them. "Admiral, there's no time to explain fully. The storm will reach Earth in 3 months. We need every available ship equipped with quantum disruption technology." "Elena, you're asking me to commit the entire fleet based on the word of an alien species that's been hostile for centuries." "Not hostile," Kira interjected gently. "Afraid. We were afraid of what contact might bring, but fear has kept us weak. Together, we can stop this threat." The entity's mental assault intensified. Elena felt waves of paranoia and suspicion washing over her, trying to make her doubt Kira's motives. But through their bond, she could feel Kira's true intentions. Pure, desperate hope mixed with unwavering determination to save both their peoples. "Admiral," Elena said firmly, "I've never asked you to trust me blindly before, but I'm asking now. The bond between Captain Kira and me isn't just personal. It's tactical. We can coordinate our fleets with precision no single species has ever achieved." Torres studied them both carefully. "You're different, Elena. I can see it in your eyes. What has this bond done to you?" "It's made me better," Elena said simply. "More complete, more capable." "Show me," Torres said. "Prove this bond gives you tactical advantages." Elena and Kira exchanged glances. Without speaking, they moved to the tactical display. Their movements were perfectly synchronized, each anticipating the other's actions. Elena called up the stellar charts, while Kira overlaid the storm's projected path. "The entity is using quantum tunneling to accelerate the storm's movement," they said in unison, their voices blending harmoniously. "But the tunneling creates temporary weak points in its structure." They continued working together, their hands moving over the controls in perfect harmony. Elena felt as if she had gained access to centuries of Altini tactical knowledge, while Kira seemed to understand human fleet dynamics instinctively. "If we position quantum disruption ships here, here, and here," Elena said, pointing to the display, "while Altini deep space platforms create resonance fields at these coordinates ... we can collapse the tunneling effect and trap the entity in normal space." Kira finished. Torres watched in amazement as they continued their demonstration, displaying tactical coordination that should have been impossible between two people who had met only hours ago. Incredible, Torres whispered. It's like you're reading each other's minds. Not reading, Elena corrected. Sharing. Admiral, this bond isn't just between Kira and me. It's the first step toward true unity between our species. The entity knows this, and it's terrified. As if summoned by her words, the entity's presence crashed over them like a wave. Elena felt its desperate hunger, its need to consume and destroy, its absolute hatred of connection and unity. But she also felt something else, the entity's fear. It was afraid of what humans and Altany might become together, afraid of a universe where different species could truly unite. Admiral, Elena said urgently, the entity is attacking us mentally right now. It's trying to break our bond, to make us doubt each other, but we're holding it back. Together, we're stronger than it is. Torres made her decision. I'm authorizing the joint operation. Elena, you'll coordinate with Captain Kira. Show this entity what happens when humanity and its allies work as one. Elena squeezed Kira's hand, feeling their bond pulse with shared determination. We won't let it win. The final battle was about to begin, but they would face it together, not as separate species, but as something new, something the universe had never seen before, something that would change everything. The end asterisk.